Hey there, I'm Paul Rabelais, and in this video, I want to give you several reasons why just about everyone who gets their legal affairs in order creates a general durable power of attorney. And I'm going to show you how you can customize yours for free using software I developed. So first, let's discuss what a general durable power of attorney is. Some people call it a power of attorney. Some people call it a durable power of attorney. Durable means it stays effective throughout the time you're incapacitated. Some people call it a financial power of attorney. There just isn't one standard name for it. So since I'm going to refer to it so much in this video, I'm going to call it a power of attorney. And let's start with what happens if you don't have a power of attorney. Though the rules in each state vary, what usually happens is when you get to a point in your life where you cannot sign your name and transact for yourself, then lawyers and courts step in. You'll get sued, typically by a family member, and difficult, expensive, and lengthy court proceedings will take place where both a judge must determine that you are incapable of managing your own affairs, thus removing your ability to transact for yourself. And a judge will select someone to be your legal guardian while you are alive but incapacitated. That legal guardian will take over all your accounts, typically until the day you die. One of the reasons people create a power of attorney is so that you can choose who can handle your financial, property, and tax matters on your behalf when you become incapacitated. And that person you designate can do so without hiring lawyers and going to court. So who should watch this video and create their custom power of attorney for free? First, I'll make the broad statement that all American adults should have a power of attorney because you just never know when you may be unable one day to transact for yourself. But if we dig a little deeper, you should pay close attention if your existing power of attorney is old. Third parties may not accept an old power of attorney. And necessary provisions regarding digital assets and other agent authorities may not exist in your old power of attorney. So it may be time to update. Now, most people hire lawyers and pay legal fees to create their power of attorney. But I'm going to use the rest of this video to show you how you can create your own power of attorney using software I created, and you can create your state-specific power of attorney for free. So I worked with a technology team to build this website called MyAdvocate, the link to which is at the top of the description below. Now, the website was designed to allow Americans to use this self-directed platform to create estate documents themselves. The website experience, as I'm about to show you, is designed to enable people to create not just their power of attorney, but their last will and testament, healthcare legal documents, and if they choose, a revocable living trust. But I'm going to walk you through what you need to do to utilize this site, but just prepare a power of attorney. And once that power of attorney document is produced, I'll scroll through it with you and point out key provisions that you may need to have in your power of attorney. And because every American adult should have a power of attorney in place, I wanted to create a website where anyone in America could go to create it for free. You want to get to this home page where you want to click either the Get Started button or the Take the Assessment button. At this point, while the software is designed to work on a mobile device or a tablet, I suggest you go to your desktop computer because in order to customize your power of attorney, you'll have some names and other information that you are going to want to input with 100% accuracy. And it's just easier if you have a keyboard to input the data. In addition, you will need to print out the power of attorney in order to sign it and put it into effect. So perhaps a desktop with printing capability may make it easier. We require everyone who uses our site to assess their current estate situation before they start customizing things. These assessment questions should help you realize what broad topics you can expect to address when you create your estate plan. Once you answer the assessment questions, simply click the View Results button. Next, you'll be taken to a product selection page. Based on your answers to your assessment questions, our software selected for you the estate planning product that best fits your needs. And since the purpose of this video is to show you how to create your power of attorney for free, let's override any suggestion of custom will or living trust and click on the Simple Will Free tab. Next, click Try It Out. Here's where you will enter your name, email address, you create a password, and enter your state, because we need to customize your power of attorney based on your state of domicile. Then, when ready, click the box to agree to MyAdvocate's terms and conditions and click Next. You'll get a unique code sent to your email address. Insert that verification code in the box and click Verify. Click Start. And here is where you would start entering the data that would be incorporated into your power of attorney. Make sure you enter the spelling of your name exactly as it should appear in your power of attorney legal document. Here is where, if you're married, you will enter your spouse's information. Again, make sure you enter your spouse's name exactly as it should appear in legal documents, because you may want your spouse to be named as your agent on your power of attorney. Note that we ask for either your spouse's email or phone number, because if you name your spouse as your agent on your power of attorney, you will be able to let your spouse know, if you choose to let your spouse know, that they have been named your agent on your power of attorney, and you will have the option to let them see a copy of your power of attorney. Don't worry at this point about the family selection diagram, because we are only at this point trying to prepare your power of attorney. And because you selected the free simple will plan on the product selection page, you will need to answer just a few questions about who would inherit from you if you were creating that simple will. If you had selected the custom will or living trust product, the software would ask you many more questions. But since we are only trying to prepare your power of attorney at this point, we'll blow through these who will inherit from you questions, since your answers are irrelevant as it relates to your power of attorney. Here's where, even though we're talking about answering questions about who would be the executor of your will, many people name their agent on their power of attorney as the same person who's the executor of your will. So you may want to just treat this question as who you would want to be the agent on your power of attorney, because you can simply select those names from the drop-down menu when you get to the power of attorney questions. So here in this case, maybe, for example, I would select my wife, Amy, to be my executor, even though I'm not producing a will. I might name my son, John, as the alternate executor of my will. So I put that in here, even though we're not technically creating a will, we're entering those names into the software. Again, we disregard the estate settlement. And then again, just click an answer here. It talks about giving your executor certain powers. Okay, so here's where we get to the point where we customize that power of attorney or general durable power of attorney for you. So here it asks me, it says, Paul, do you want to sign a general durable power of attorney so that people you designate can easily handle your financial affairs while you're alive but incapacitated? If you want to create your own power of attorney, you'll click yes to this question. Okay, so here's the question. Who do you want to handle your financial affairs if you are alive but incapacitated? Note that if you are a little confused with the questions or the answers, note that on the left-hand side, you could watch a video that was made to describe the question and the answers, or you could read some text help that's below the video. But here's where the question is, who do you want to handle your financial affairs? Do you want one person, or do you want two people to be your co-agents? It says in parentheses that for a married person, the spouse is most common, because it is. And so in my circumstances, I would want my wife, Amy, to have power of attorney, but I also want to make sure I designate an alternate. So I'm thinking here, I would want to select one person as my agent, and I'm going to want to select my spouse. And because I already input my spouse, Amy's name into the software, and because spouse is most common, you'll see that the software just kind of defaulted your spouse's name. So there it is. And so it's time to click next, because that's who I'd want to be my agent on my general durable power of attorney. Okay, another good question. Because you may name your spouse or anyone to have power of attorney for you, it's very common practice and wise practice to name an alternate agent on your power of attorney. I appointed my wife might predecease me, Amy might predecease me. So if I just named one person to be my power of attorney for the rest of my lifetime, and that person predeceases me, then really I'm going to be in a bind. So I know in advance, if my wife, Amy, can't be my agent on my power of attorney, I would want my son, John, to be designated as the agent on my power of attorney. I will say here, you could select 2 or more people as your co-agents. And if you select 2 or more people, the software will go on to ask you whether, if you name 2 or more people, do they all have to work together to act on your behalf, or can any of them work on your behalf, acting jointly or separately? But I'm just keeping it simple here. I named my wife Amy as the primary, and then if Amy can't do it, I want my son John to be the backup. So because I had already selected or put John's name in the system on the executor appointment, even though I'm not creating a will, I was able to just select John's name from the drop-down menu and click next. Here's another important question when you customize your power of attorney. When will your agent be able to act for you? So my preference is doing this for 30 years. I know if I were incapacitated, I would want to make it as easy as possible for my wife, Amy, to be able to act for me. So I'm going to select immediately. I would not want to put Amy through the burden when I'm incapacitated and she's trying to deal with my accounts and deal with business affairs. I don't want to burden her with having to go seek out doctors who have to examine me and have to sign affidavits that I'm incapacitated. I don't want to put Amy through that. So I'm going to say I want my power of attorney and I want my agent's authority to be effective immediately. So every time you finish a section on the MyAdvocate website, these visual diagrams pop up. This visual diagram doesn't have any legal effect. It doesn't get signed. It's designed just to help you and others understand the decisions that you made. So here's the power of attorney visual diagram. You'll see my name up here at the top. You'll see my wife, Amy, is designated as the agent, and you'll see my son, John, is designated as the alternate agent. Here's that it's effective immediately or effective when the document is signed. It's Amy or John they are not going to be required to seek out doctors' affidavits that I'm incapacitated in order to have the authority to transact for me. And on the right-hand side of the diagram is just a few types of decisions that an agent may have to make for you when they use your power of attorney. So again, because the purpose of this video is just simply to show you how to make that general durable power of attorney, we're not going to go through all of the healthcare legal documents, whether that's a healthcare proxy, healthcare power of attorney, advanced healthcare directive, living will, HIPAA authorizations. We're skipping all of that because I want to, in the interest of time, limit it just to the power of attorney. And I want to make sure, every adult has that ability to create that power of attorney for themselves. Also on the software, you can make certain informal instructions to your heirs about certain estate planning advice you want to give them. And then next, it's going to take you to this page here where you can scroll through the diagrams. The diagram that is most relevant is the general durable power of attorney diagram. So here's where you get to the plan summary page. And this is where you can scroll through the visual diagrams. The only diagram relevant here, like I said, is the general durable power of attorney diagram. To move forward, you will click the continue to payment button. Now, allow me to be real clear about the payment page, because I've been discussing how you can get your customized power of attorney for free. Now, you may remember on the product selection page, you selected the free simple will plan, which includes your power of attorney. But before you can view, print, and sign your power of attorney legal document, we ask you to submit a debit or credit card. In order to get your power of attorney legal documents, which are free to set up, you must authorize MyAdvocate to charge your card for a $19 annual subscription fee, and the first $19 payment will be charged 90 days from now. The MyAdvocate annual subscription that comes with the free simple will plan enables you to upload and store your signed documents, allows the advocates that you notify to get education about their role, and the QR code on the document enables third parties to determine whether your power of attorney has been revoked. But know that you can get your power of attorney 100% for free, even without the requirement that you incur a subscription cost, because we give MyAdvocate users the option of canceling the subscription payment by going to the billing menu before the 90-day subscription cost is incurred. And even if you cancel your annual subscription in the next 90 days, or anytime that you cancel it, your power of attorney document will still be valid. Okay, so once you get through that, then the software builds your power of attorney document. Okay, I mentioned earlier that users of the MyAdvocate website have the opportunity to notify those people who were designated to have certain roles. You'll have the option to notify them of their role, and even if you want to, allow them to view your documents once they're uploaded into the MyAdvocate system. But for purposes of just creating the power of attorney, we're going to click the Do This Later button. Next, it's as simple as 1, 2, 3 to get your documents prepared for signature. We'll show you how to make it official, and then we'll show you how to secure your documents. So you click View Estate Planning Documents. You'll see here General Durable Power of Attorney from myself. You click View. It allows you to save it, and then go Continue from there. So here's where your power of attorney document shows up. All right, let's go through that and go through some of the important provisions. So you'll see at the top, very first sentence, I, Paul Rabelais. So this is my power of attorney. You'll see in the second paragraph where I designate my wife, Amy, as my agent. And if Amy is unwilling or unable to serve, I designate my son, John, as the agent. Many powers of attorney, particularly the older ones, they just stop at this general statement of authority. And the power of attorney just says, I authorize my agent to do kind of anything I could have done. But today, in our world's complicated times, that often is not good enough. So the terms and the authorities listed and detailed out in your power of attorney can be critical. Let's look at some of those. So for example, I have some bank accounts, and I know that if Amy needs to use my power of attorney one day, a bank may want to see this specific language where she is authorized specifically to handle my banking transactions. I also have investment accounts. And so the financial institutions and investment companies of the world may want to see the specific language that authorizes Amy to handle stock transactions. Amy might need to sell my house or sell a piece of property that I have one day. And in many cases, that specific authorization to buy and sell real estate must be expressly provided for in the power of attorney. Here's a big one because we don't know what the future holds. We don't know in the future what any kind of estate tax or inheritance tax laws may be. Now, in the past, many people have saved taxes by taking advantage of certain provisions in a power of attorney to do, I hate to call it this, but deathbed transfers, where an agent using a power of attorney makes gifts on behalf of the person who's near death. And that can save a significant amount of estate or inheritance tax. Again, we don't know what those estate tax thresholds will be when you pass away. We don't know whether your state will have an estate or inheritance tax, but we want to make sure that your agent is authorized to do this gifting, because that can really keep assets in the family, more so than if that provision doesn't exist. A relatively new one, but really important one these days is that giving your agent that authority to deal with your digital assets. 15 years ago, digital assets wasn't a thing, or at least it wasn't a common thing, and it wasn't commonly expressed in a power of attorney. But these days, it's one of those provisions where if you're watching this as a video, it's likely that you have digital assets. So you want to make sure that in your general durable power of attorney, you authorize your agent to access your digital assets appropriately. You'd also want your agent to be able to handle estate and trust transaction claims and litigation, certainly tax matters with the IRS. And then here's where we get to the point in section 10, where based on the answers you provide, I stated that I wanted the power of attorney to be effective immediately upon the date of execution. Remember, I said I didn't want my wife, Amy, to have to go seek out doctors and have to get them to sign affidavits that declare me incapacitated before Amy can transact on my behalf. So that section 10 is where auto generates that the document is effective immediately based on my answer to that question. And in section 11, you revoke prior powers of attorney. And then you'll see it's a 7-page document. And based on my state, we have the appropriate signature requirements based on what state you live in. You'll see those signature requirements for your state. So that's the power of attorney there. And then next, we want to allow you to continue, and we want you to understand what these signing requirements are. So you'll get to this page where you'll see which documents require a notary, and the general durable power of attorney in my state is one that does require the documents to be notarized. So we walk you through all of that and tell you what's required based on your state. Next, you'll want to secure and document the location of your original power of attorney. So in this case, let's just say, for example, I put it in my home safe. And here's where you can go and go ahead and print your document from there, and then make sure you sign it, meet the validity requirements, and your 100% free power of attorney will be in place. Okay, so hope that helps. Go get your power of attorney done. Use the MyAdvocate software. Let me know in the comments below how it went. You can always go to we have real good support team at MyAdvocate. If you run into glitches, feel free to check with the support. Y'all have a great day.